Hello and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I'm your certified personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, and I like to welcome you to Sunday and ask you, how are you doing on this amazing Sunday, the day after August 8th, the 8/8 Lionsgate energy. Perhaps we'll have some time to talk about that. If not, maybe Wednesday. Any case, I want to give a real shout out to my advertising sponsors, but before I do that, I'd like to remind you to share, like, and comment on today's show. And also know that we're on Roku and Amazon Fire TV, so if you're not catching us now, you can catch us there. So, I do have a flyer with the advertising sponsors on it, if in case you're looking for their contact information, as I'm just going to mention their name and obviously what they do. So to start off with, we have Sherry Simpson. She is our intuitive business guide, although I think I have that wrong. I think she's changed that. We have Susan Joy Mitchell, who is our author. She now has 3 amazing books that are available. Actually, one is coming out soon, which is The Journey. The other 2 is Visions and The Lucky Starfish. Then we have Gail Nicholson. She's our resilient coach and our metaphysical practitioner. Moving into Gabriella, which is interesting. She's our guest for today. I'm so excited to have her come in shortly. She's a medical intuitive, CEO, and the founder at Alive Health Solution. We have Linda Boney, who is our feng shui consultant. And then we also have our newest advertising sponsor, which is Eliza Bloom Robinson. She's our transformational catalyst. So those are our advertising sponsors that help to make our show run every week. And of course, we have Bobby, who usually is behind the scenes, but he seems to be popping up a lot right here in front of me, making me really nervous. But in any case, we'll go with the flow here. So let's see what's in form for our forecast for this week. What do we need to know? What chakra do we need to focus on? I always believe that there's always a chakra that gets our attention to help us manifest our deepest desires. And if a chakra is out of alignment, that's going to slow down that process. And then there's always an affirmation to work with. I believe affirmations are an awesome way to keep our vibration high. And numbers. Who don't like numbers? Every number has a specific energy. Every number is powerful. And in my cards, every number has a specific hidden message. So let's see what we have in store for us today. What do we need to know? The energy for today. Hopefully there's one card. Interesting enough. Higher education. And it's so funny that this card pops up today. I was actually on the phone with my astrologer a little while ago, and we were chatting about this exact topic. Not relating to anybody specific, or I shouldn't say that. It was actually relating to him. But I don't want to give away his secrets. I think I just did. Anyway, so higher education. How many of you are contemplating the possibility of going back to school, or perhaps teaching something at a higher level, or taking a CEU course, something in that nature? That's the card that's showing up. There are so many changes going on right now in our world, and individually and collectively. And you just really don't know where you're actually going to be as we move into 2021. When we think about that, so that's only, 5 months away? I recommend that you really start thinking about where you would like to be in 2021, what you would like to be doing, and that could be in any area of your life, professionally or personally, and perhaps higher education falls into that category. The chakra associated with this card is the heart chakra. It's not green though, it's pink. And pink is all about the self-care, the nourishment, the compassion, the kindness. And perhaps you're noticing more and more people are being more kind and compassionate to one another. And maybe you're not. But whatever the case is, the pink is all about the high heart energy of love, self-love specifically. And maybe by that higher education, you might actually find yourself having more love because you might fall into something you really enjoy doing. Your number here, 3 and 6. Let's talk about the numbers. 3 is all about the things you are creating, the things you are communicating about, and the things you are teaching others to do. I truly believe there's a teacher in every one of us. Every one of us has something we're really great at doing. And upon being great at doing it, maybe it's time to teach it, which could be that higher education. That 6 energy is really all about how you are healing with all that's going on this year. I truly believe this year is a healing opportunity for each and every one of us, especially when we think about the COVID-19 being surrounded around your health. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a virus. And maybe you could take a look at what your health status is now and see if there's room for some changes. So as you do move into the next 5 months, maybe you could bring 2021 into being a healthier version of you. So that's that 6 energy. Now, when we think about 3 and 6, here is the hidden message, guys. It's 9. Now, in numerology, 9 is all about the things that we let go of. And we are letting go of so much this year. Things that we want to let go of and things that are totally out of our control that we are being told to let go of. But it is a year about letting go of things, letting go of our physical, our emotional, our spiritual, and mental clutter that no longer serves. When you do let go, you make space. You make space for new things to come in. And that's, in my point of view, known as a transformation. And every one of us are in the process of transforming in one way or another. And as I mentioned in the beginning portion of the show, how are you doing in this Lionsgate energy of 8-8? And that's really what yesterday's energy was really about. How vibrations are rising. There was so much energy going on yesterday, and hopefully you've all had an opportunity to feel that energy, and perhaps maybe you were feeling some physical symptoms that were going on. I want to invite you to come join me on Wednesday for Joanne's Cosmic Energy. I'll be speaking more about that Lionsgate energy and giving you some ideas of what you might have been feeling and how you can go about moving forward with all that energy that has actually come in. So feel free to join me on Wednesday at 5 p.m. on the Strong Island radio channel, and I'll be sharing more with you on that. So when we think about that 9, remember this is all about a transformation. This is about letting things go, clearing things out, and making space for the things that really serve you. And sometimes we're not aware of things that have expired. And sometimes we need a little help in reference to kicking things out. And that's what this COVID-19 and the universe is doing for each and every one of us individually and then collectively. And I'd like to ask you just to have an open mind with all that's going on, because when you have an open mind with what's going on, you'll be able to ease more peacefully into the situation and ease into more of the transition that's taking place. With all that being said, for anyone who is interested in having a one-on-one private reading, feel free to email healingwithin76@gmail.com. You're also welcome to call or text 646-236-9155. With that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to be really eager to introduce my guest, who's been here before, because this is a part 2. We'll be right back.
If you are turned off by conventional medicine and their mantra, "Do you want meds for that?" there's a better option. I'm Gabriella Mihalichin, medical intuitive and healer. Let me help you find the root cause of your illness and guide you through healing. My intuitive method directs your body to heal itself and removes barriers to healing. I invite you to schedule a session today at alivehealthsolutions.com.
Hello everyone, my name is Linda Boney. I'm a Feng Shui consultant and speaker. I'm the owner of Feng Shui Inspirations. Get inspired, move forward. I assist my clients in setting their space up for success, creating better health, wealth, and relationships. www.fengshuiinspirations.com, 347-223-0532. Thank you and blessings.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. If you are just tuning in, remember to share, like, and comment. Know that we are on Roku and also Amazon Fire TV, so you can catch us there as well. Just want to recap really quickly as my guest just popped in. Just want to recap on the energy for today, which is all about higher education. Perhaps many of you are in the process of thinking about going back to school, whether it's traditional school or getting a continuing education courses, whatever it might be, but that might be on your mind. Know that we are in the process of creating, communicating, and also teaching The sixth energy is about how you are healing. And we're all in this process of really letting go of what we need to let go so we can make that space and transform to being a better version of us. I am so excited for our show today. I always get excited when I have amazing guests showing up on my show. And this guest is just amazing. Oh my God, she's breathtaking. She just has so much information to share. And I do really go good with her first name. I suck at her last name. Gabriella, welcome. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm really excited about today's conversation, especially since you sent me that, I think it was a post of some sort on Facebook regarding all that article was about. So I think it fits really well with our conversation today. So just let the viewers know what it is you do first, because of course there may be a handful of new people who's here who may not know who you are and what you actually do. So just let them know that.
Sure. I am a medical intuitive and healer. And I differ from other medical intuitives in that
I think we lost the audio.
programming background. So I am an analytical medical intuitive, which is quite unique. And I help people figure out what's wrong with their bodies, and then I take the next step and work on healing. And I developed my own method of healing. It's called healing prompt therapy, and it works amazingly well. It's a way to guide the body to heal itself.
Awesome, awesome. And I love the fact that you help people heal their body. You know, in regards to everything that's going on, especially with yesterday's energy. I don't know if you were feeling yesterday's energy with the Lionsgate 8-8, and I know for myself, it was like, wow, I was receiving a lot of phone calls from different clients about, well, why am I feeling this, and how come I'm feeling that, and what am I supposed to do? And I was like, just calm down. Just calm down. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but you know, if it lingers on for more than a week, then worry about it. Then consult. But anyway, so in regards to today is like our part 2 to a conversation we had. What was that, like a month ago that you were on? Was that a month or 2 months ago?
Close to 2 months ago, I think.
Yes, yes. So our conversation is all about the COVID-19, and one of the things I want to dive right into is in reference to the statistics regarding what are the statistics and why do they seem to be just so misleading? Like one day you hear one thing, another day you hear something else. So what's that all about?
Well, when I was a computer scientist, I actually worked with statisticians and pathologists. So I have some idea of what's going on with statistics. Now, why the numbers here are misleading? Well, there's a book out called How to Lie with Statistics. And what I see happening is they're counting the number of positive tests. And when you count the number of positive tests, you don't take into account whether or not that person had been tested before or had tested positive before. There are a lot of people that after they get sick, they get tested, they test positive, they can't go back to work until they get a negative test. And this takes a while to get a negative test. So they can go and try to get a negative test because they don't have symptoms, and then they get another positive test. And then wait a week and try again, and they get another positive test. So the number of positive tests is not the same as the number of cases.
Interesting.
So when we compare today's number of tests to yesterday's number of tests to get the number of new tests, and that generally gets called the number of new cases. And that's one big piece that's misleading.
Interesting. So what I'm understanding you're saying is someone who's was tested positive, and they're trying to get themselves back to work, they'll go and retake the test. And because they're retaking it and they're coming back with another positive, they're being put on the list as another person who has the test.
That's right.
Wow. Now, I mean, is there a way of knowing like what percentage of people are actually doing that, and how like false this information really is, or one doesn't really know that?
It would take a different way of keeping track of things, and from what I understand, the White House has worked on taking control of the numbers instead of the CDC being in control of the numbers. So I believe it's the Health and Human Services, which is under the federal government instead of under the branch of the CDC. And they're trying to start redoing those numbers or getting a handle on those numbers, because some of the numbers in Florida were even worse than that, where certain places were reporting 100% positive cases and different weird anomalies with the data. So that alerted Trump to say, look, the CDC is not getting the right information, so we need to make sure that these numbers are correct.
Wow.
So hopefully they will get better, but even at a state level, it's hard to keep the data clean. As a programmer, that was actually one of my jobs, to make sure the data was clean. So I know I have experience in that, and it's not an easy thing. You have to think about what you're doing. And when you go from the terminology, change the number of new tests to the number of new cases, it's not the same thing.
Wow. Very interesting. Now, I would be surprised on how many people, knowing this information now, would be sitting back, like, would question themselves, like, what is actually going on, and how hard is it to, like, really believe what's actually being said out there in reference to, like, the everyday.
Right. It is definitely fairly obvious if you dig into the information that there's something wrong with what's being reported. It's difficult to find out how much, what the magnitude of error is, and things like that. That's very hard to figure out.
Now, from your point of view, and I know we didn't discuss this is just a question I'm hearing now. It's like, why am I hearing this question now? She may not have the answer to this. But anyway, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Sure. Is there a specific or a better source of information one can actually look towards to get the right information, or as accurate as they can get? Like, you know, whether it's the media, like, where is a better source for this information to come from?
Well, the best source probably at this point is looking at the actual numbers that are being reported on the internet. So there's, I believe each state probably has their own data, and they publish that. So that would be before it goes into the CDC and gets grouped and gets manipulated and gets reported. That's probably the best source. It's certainly not perfect.
Okay, yes. And I think at this point in time, I think the word perfect should just be put aside.
Sure. And there's definitely, when I mean it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
There's definite issues still with most of that data, even at that level. And just keep in mind that includes, are they looking at number of positive tests, or are they actually looking at the number of positive cases, new cases? So, and usually with the data, there's footnotes describing what's in the data, so you can find out.
Interesting. Very interesting. I love that. So it's something that I was noticing myself, and you and I spoke about this prior to coming on today, in regards to now that more and more businesses are opening, you know, doing outside services and, you know, whatever not. The big concept is about, well, you could do the outside services as long as you're wearing the mask and as long as you're social distancing. Now, I go to a lot of different places, you know, where I'll drive and I'll see what's going on, and I'm noticing that there's very little social distancing going on, but a lot of socializing. And yet, again, as we just speak about the numbers, from what I'm understanding, the numbers aren't going up, which is a good thing. But we're not social distancing. So what's going on there?
Okay, well, that's going to vary a lot by state, and whether or not you've already hit the top of the curve. Because if you have a lot of people that have already gotten the virus, that makes it much less likely to catch it. And that's for a few reasons. Some of the people have antibodies because they've already recovered. Some of the people, I believe, are not susceptible to the virus. So they're not really going to catch it just by casual contact and a little bit of, the virus being present in their body. Their body can just ignore it, fight it off. Tiny particles of a virus does not mean you're going to get sick. So because of that, now you're in New York where you guys had a lot of cases.
Yes.
So you've already gone, like, the curve is true. That's what pandemics do. They go up and they go down. The reason they go down naturally is because a lot of people have already gotten it and they're not going to get it again because their body can handle it. And the other people are not that susceptible to it. So in other places, like Rhode Island, for example, they did not go up with the rest of New England and New York. They kept their cases down. And so now as they reopen, they're surprised that their cases are going up. Well, they never finished that part of the curve that was still going up. So you cannot cause the curve to just stop. There's nothing we can do to make that stop. So the only things we can do are treatment, find appropriate treatment, and that will make people recover. The same number of people are going to get it, basically, but recovery will be quick.
Okay.
Once we finally figure out the appropriate treatment, which has been very frustrating.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Yes, it has. And if we find a preventative thing, then that would be the only way to make that curve just fall flat. And the goal for a lot of people for the preventative is a vaccine. The vaccines that we typically make, a little bit of dead virus mixed with aluminum and, a whole bunch of other polysorbate 80 and a whole bunch of other things that make the body react. Those types of vaccines don't work with coronavirus. They have been tried, not with this coronavirus, but with previous coronaviruses. That doesn't work. So we're trying a whole bunch of different types of vaccine. It's really, 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 really need to be tested fully before we can say that they work. There are, I believe, other ways to get your body strong enough so that you may still get it, but you won't get symptoms, or you will get maybe tired for a day.
Yes.
And then get back, and then you'll have the antibodies. So
now, before you go into that, I want to keep our viewers at the edge of their chair for a moment, because we do have to take a commercial break. So just let the viewers know how they can reach you, and then they can stay with us to hear the rest of this. So let them know how they can reach you.
my website is alivehealthsolutions.com. And I'm also on Facebook. Same 3 words there. And email is gem@alivehealthsolutions.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And there was a flyer with that so the viewers can see it. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, like I said, I have you on your edge of your chair now because we just started the conversation, and I love cutting my guests off so we can take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Are you ready for a breakthrough? If so, I can help. I'm Reverend Eliza Bloom Robinson, Transformational Catalyst, and I support people just like you to move through the breakdown into a place of absolute empowerment and clarity. I'd be happy to offer you a complimentary consultation call. Just simply email me at newhumanitynow@gmail.com. I look forward to talking with you.
Hi there, my name is Sherry Simpson. As an intuitive business guide, I help female service-based business owners to grow their business using their intuition, helping you to release the blocks and limits preventing your growth and allowing you to get the aligned action steps to take to grow your business. You can reach me at Sherry at sherrysimpson.com, SHERRI at sherrysimpson, SIMPSON.com. I look forward to helping you grow your business soon. Namaste.
When you open yourself up to actual energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest, Gabriella, here. And we're going to dive right back into what we were just talking about. But before we do, remember to share, like, and comment today. So, Gabriella, you were just about to speak about the preventative, I believe, yes.
Yes. I have found through some research and through the intuitive practices that I use, along some preventative things. And I have had friends and clients come to me with early stages of coronavirus when their doctors said, stay home and rest. Hope everything goes well.
Lovely.
One of the things that I have found that works very well is wormwood. And wormwood is known, it's an herb that's known as an anti-malarial herb. Quinine is another herb that is very similar. They both work to protect the hemoglobin. And the hemoglobin is what really does the major damage. That's where the major damage happens from the virus. So if you can protect the hemoglobin, then your body can recover. So early wormwood is highly recommended. And for prevention, you can take a little bit, maybe once or twice a week, and that will make sure that your hemoglobin is protected from the damage.
And this is preventative. So this is something they can take prior to, even if they have no symptoms, this is something that they can take to prevent the virus from coming on?
To prevent you may still get the virus, but your body will not be majorly affected by it. It will be just a regular cold flu thing, and then you get over it. Most of the damage is caused because the hemoglobin is damaged. Mm-hmm. So if you protect the hemoglobin and that's not damaged, then the virus may still happen, but it does not have the devastating effects that you would otherwise have.
Very good. Very good. So hopefully the viewers wrote that down as a tip.
Right.
Yes. So now, when we were doing the commercial break, we were speaking about the article that you had shared with me on Facebook. Let's speak about that article. So tell me more about the article that you read. I read it briefly, so go ahead and share it with the viewers.
Sure. There was a new study that came out, and I shared the USA Today article on that study. And basically, they were talking about, or they were looking at, patients who had COVID-19 a couple of months ago, and they recovered 6 weeks, 2 months ago. And there are lots of them who still have residual effects. And I'm not going to call them symptoms, even though they kind of said they were symptoms of COVID-19, because they're not really symptoms of the virus. They are effects of the damage from the virus. So once your body fights off the virus, you need to heal whatever has happened to your body as a result of the virus being in your system and basically messing things up. So the doctors are puzzled. Why there's so many people have things like chronic fatigue syndrome. They're still out of breath. They can't exercise. They're depressed and anxious. And there was a bunch of other things as well. there's potentially damage to the heart that's still there. And if you look at them as symptoms, you're looking at them completely wrong. Like I said, each one of those things needs support to heal.
Mm.
And that is key. And that is not the way we tend to look at things in conventional medicine. We look at syndromes and we look at disease and we label things in such a way that everybody with that disease gets the same treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And with COVID-19, it depends on what was broken, injured, and affected. So if your lungs are the things that are affected, then you need nutrients for the lungs. If your liver is what's affected, then you need nutrients for that. So it is very specific to each person and to what the effects are. You cannot treat lingering effects with the same treatment for everybody.
Mm.
And that is why intuitive healing is so critical, because we can look at what part of the body isn't working right, what part of the body has not recovered fully. And then we can say, what does that need? And we can take the next step in that. The way the virus does damage to in most basically critical cases especially. But even if you've just lost your sense of taste and smell, that is a key symptom that your hemoglobin was affected. Because when your hemoglobin is affected, it releases the iron ion that's supposed to be held in each of the hemes. That iron ion is super toxic in the body.
Mm.
And it does damage. We know what it does. If you look at the Iron Institute, you can read about what free iron damage is. And it affects the lungs, the liver, the heart, the glands, and the brain. Those are the primary things, and the kidneys. Those are the primary things it affects.
Mm-hmm.
So for a recovering COVID-19 or a recovered COVID-19 person who still has symptoms or after effects, you need to look at those 6 things and see what needs to be healed still. And
Interesting.
support the healing of that and get the nutrients and get the body to restore itself, because it really can.
And just run through the list of, again, symptoms or that you were just mentioning.
Of the organs that are affected by the low oxygen level and the free iron are the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, the heart, the brain, and the glands.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of organs.
Yes.
It
Absolutely is. It does it, and this is why people don't recover, because these things are damaged.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't stop the process, you're just going to spiral down. Because if the hemoglobin isn't carrying the oxygen, that does damage. If the iron is loose in the body, that does damage. And that's oxidation.
Yes.
So I'm sure many people understand the importance of antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the opposite of antioxidants. This is what antioxidants fix.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
And zinc, the reason why zinc is so publicly touted and used is because the free iron, one way to clean it up is to connect it to zinc, and that will stop the damage. So zinc is critical in treatment.
Very interesting. Now, in regards to intuitive healers, so to speak, working with a client or a patient who may have some of these symptoms. For the patient or client, when working with a specific intuitive healer, is there an intuitive healer that you would recommend in regards to a specific modality that would be able to work with this better than another intuitive healer, or it really doesn't matter?
So there's a difference between medical intuitive and medical intuitive healer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a medical intuitive, you can see where the problems are in the body. You can tell what your client needs to avoid. You probably can tell what supplements they need to a certain extent. But you need a person that understands different modalities of healing. So there's two pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I do have a lot of training in naturopathic methods. And so I know what things can be used for healing, whether it's homeopathy or herbs or essential oils, or the list goes on. So once I understand what's going on in the body, I have those methods and I have my own method. And my own method is very, very unique because it's basically asking the body to do something in a way that's specific enough so the body understands the request and does it.
Mm-hmm. And in regards to that, because I think we actually spoke about that on our previous show when we were on together. Is that in regards to the muscle testing?
So the muscle testing is finding out what's going on in the body, finding out what's wrong, but it's not fixing it.
Okay.
So healing prompt therapy is what fixes it.
Okay.
And that's the part that I have created. And it's basically a way to prompt the body to do something. So a prompt, for example, if you had damage to the lungs, is you would first identify the damage, make sure the body sees it, and then you would say, I would like those parts of my lungs to be fully restored.
Mm-hmm.
And verify that that has been internalized by the subconscious, and the subconscious can restore them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you did that prompt without the right nutrients, you might get some restoration, but the body might not be able to because it doesn't have all the nutrients it needs. So it's a multifaceted approach, and COVID-19 is super complicated. So
yes.
it takes a lot of information, like knowledge, to be able to bring somebody fully back to recovery, especially if they've had a bad case.
Wow. Yes. Now, interesting enough, and during the commercial break, we were speaking about the article, and we were also speaking when you and I spoke prior to the show about the military. In regards, what do they know about this virus that perhaps we don't know? Because I believe the conversation you and I were having is if somebody wanted to go and join the military at this point, and if they've had the virus, they will actually be denied the opportunity of joining. So what exactly does the military know that we may not know?
I'm pretty sure they know that it affects multiple organs and you don't recover well. The article I saw at least 6 weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, in the Military Times, that said they are not taking anyone who has had COVID-19 even after they've recovered. They're not accepting them into military service. So they are blocking out a whole group of people that can't volunteer. In order for them to do that, they must know something very specific, something, and the the Military Times article did not say until further notice, this might be reviewed. It said they're not allowing people who have had COVID-19 in the service.
So this is like that's it. The door's closed on that.
That the door
is closed.
And I'm not a military person. They may review it later, but as of right now, that has been the declaration, and it was a while ago that they said that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why I started really looking at what the damage is, because that gave me a big hint to say, this is not just a flu where you get it, you're sick, it kills a few people, and then you recover. Because if that was the case, they would be fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what prompted me to really dig in and see what is going on in the body that's different than other things. And that is the protein that activates COVID-19 is different than the protein that activates SARS-CoV-1, basically, whatever you want to call it, the previous versions of this thing.
Yes.
It's different. And the one that activated the previous versions and most viruses, those proteins are only found in the respiratory system. So that's why you get bronchitis, you get pneumonia from them. It stays in the respiratory system. This one, the protein is called furin, F-U-R-I-N, and it is in multiple places in the body, including the blood. So different people can get different forms of it depending on where it comes into the body and what it affects. Many of the critical cases, like I said, it affects the blood, but not all.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say this is how you treat every single case.
Uh-huh.
You can never say that because they're so different. There's so many varieties of this and so many different things that can be injured.
Yes. Very, very personalized, we'll say. Yes.
Yeah, so it takes somebody that really can see, and that's why the medical intuitive piece of it has so much more of an advantage than just the typical doctor saying, okay, you have this, I'm going to look over here, this is what we do, try that. And then, if that doesn't work, let's see, we try that.
Yeah.
And anything chemically based, especially, can cause other symptoms. So you never know what's going to happen if you just keep trying random meds that are on the list that help some people.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Interesting. Let the viewers know again how they can reach you, because we have to take another commercial break.
Sure. My website where you can sign up for a consultation is alivehealthsolutions.com. And my email is gem@alivehealthsolutions.com.
Awesome. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to do a conclusion of this part of it, and then I'm going to see if Gabriella wants to have a reading. So we'll be right back.
I'm Nick Rafter, native New Yorker and realtor. Looking for a new home or selling your current one is a stressful process. I'm here to make it a lot easier. I work with sellers, buyers, renters, and landlords in the 5 boroughs of New York City and in Nassau and Suffolk counties. My brokerage, Corcoran, offers state-of-the-art services to allow you to market your property to the greatest number of potential buyers or renters. And if you're the one moving, we have thousands of listings ready for you to check out. So give me a call at 347-610-9765 today, and let's talk about how to make your decision to move a lot less stressful.
If you are turned off by conventional medicine and their mantra, "Do you want meds for that?" there's a better option. I'm Gabriella Mihalichin, medical intuitive and healer. Let me help you find the root cause of your illness and guide you through healing. My intuitive method directs your body to heal itself and removes barriers to healing. I invite you to schedule a session today at alivehealthsolutions.com.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest, Gabriella, here. And we are going to give a conclusion of what we were speaking about, and then we're going to go into a card reading. So, Gabriella, you were mentioning you wanted to speak about white cells as our conclusion for today?
Yes.
Go for it.
The white cells, white blood cells, are a huge part of the immune reaction. And in many cases, the white cells, they do not get replenished after recovery. This can lead to other issues when some other pathogen comes along. Because if you don't have the replenished white blood cells, you can't fight off other infections. And I believe that is what happened in the cases of the Kawasaki-like disease that happened in some of the children's way after they've had COVID-19, even if they didn't have symptoms. The white blood cells are made in the thymus and the bone marrow. Now, the thymus is a gland, so that gets messed up by the free iron. And the bone marrow, it appears, can as well. So you really need to make sure that you have a blood test at the end when you're recovered to make sure that you have those white blood cells, the monocytes, the lymphocytes, back up to the normal level where they should be. So that is the last critical piece that I know about.
Very interesting information today, and hopefully all the viewers are taking notes and following through the protocol, especially for the viewers who've had the COVID-19, to make sure they've fully recovered from the COVID-19. And if you have or have it and you haven't fully recovered, or you haven't had it yet, I highly recommend you consult with Gabriella here so she can keep you as healthy as you could possibly be during this time. So thank you, Gabriella, for sharing your amazing brilliance that you have. Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So for today, for your card reading, do you have a specific question you would like guidance on, or would you like guidance from the universe?
I do not have a specific question.
So guidance from the universe it is.
Okay.
All right. Just repeat your full name that's on your birth certificate out loud 3 times.
Ellen Margaret Peters. Ellen Margaret Peters. Ellen Margaret Peters.
All right. And your card for today is all about interesting card, balance. Interesting card for you, balance. Bringing more balance into your life, and I'm sure you have a lot of balance going on, and perhaps the card is showing up in reference to just bringing more balance into your daily life regarding playing and also working. And also, I just feel that the card is really a message on how you help bring balance into people's lives in regards to the work that you do. Where, as you mentioned just recently about the virus, in reference that, yes, they can go to the doctor and get the diagnosis, but the medical intuitive is actually going to be able to really tap into the intuition of what's really going on. So that's the balance right there. So I think that's important. The chakra associated with this is the high heart, which is all about the self-care and self-love that you provide to your clients when working with them. Because you're not just the everyday healer. You really tap into the medical components of what is actually going on with the individual. And I think more of us healers should really tap into that, including myself. So I appreciate that. Your numbers are 7 and 6. So 7 is really about where you really do go within. when you work with your clients in regards to whatever's going on for them. And I'm sure you do the same thing for yourself. So you're probably one of the healthiest people out there because you have this ability. Now, do you find it easier to actually help yourself heal when you're not feeling well because you are medical intuitive?
There are, yes, if there's something that has happened like a pathogen, it is very easy to heal myself. If it's something that has been going on a long time, sometimes it's a blind spot, so I need to work through that.
Okay. So yeah, so that 7 energy is really about where you get to, sit quietly for yourself. And with all that is going on, I'm sure you pick up a lot of people's energies in itself. So allowing that time to have the downtime so you can let go of that and just really tune into you so you can be more calm and relaxed so you're not overwhelming yourself with what's all going on. And I'm sure there's a lot going on for you with everything that is going on collectively as well. And the 6 energy is about how you are healing so many people with all the information that you're providing. And I'm sure all the clients and patients that you are seeing, you're definitely helping them heal on a much deeper level as well. The 7 and 6 works out to be a 13. So this is about a 4 energy. So this is about a foundation, a new foundation. Now I know that when you were on the show last, we spoke about the possibility of, I think, you writing a book. And also
doing training mostly.
Oh, training, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And a new foundation. There's something new coming out of what it is you're doing. And I think it's so new that maybe you don't even know what it is just yet because it's so new that there's something definitely bigger coming out for you in this COVID-19, where I think, for everybody, there's going to be something very new for all of us as we move into 2021. But I get for you, yours is something really big. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
It does, yes. I've heard pieces of that before, so, yeah.
Yes. And interesting enough, 2 cards actually came out. The second one is all about engaged.
Okay.
Something that you're engaging in right now, that you are either engaging in it where the unconscious is actually working on something and you're not aware of it just yet, but there's something you are brewing. That's literally what I just heard. There's something brewing for you. And it definitely has to do with your throat chakra, so it's definitely something you're teaching.
Okay.
Definitely something you're teaching. And we have a 2 and 7, so that 2 is about a partnership. So obviously it goes with the teaching process. And then you're back to your 7 again, which is all about going within. And I get that this has more to do with the intuitive work that you do. And it works out to be a 9, so there's a transformation going on here. How's that sound?
Yep. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Awesome.
Accurate.
You've heard it, huh?
Yep.
Awesome. So I'm not the first one to say this to you, huh?
Yeah, a lot of that is confirmation of things.
Excellent. Well, I definitely am sure things are going to go in the right direction for you, and I'm looking forward to witnessing all that does come out for you as 2021 comes in and seeing where you go with it all. So, yeah. So, again, just let the viewers know how they can reach you one last time.
My website is alivehealthsolutions.com, and my email is gem@alivehealthsolutions.com.
Awesome. And again, Gabriella, thank you so much for sharing all that you do and the information you shared today. It was brilliant, and I'm, again, hoping the viewers really took in the information you shared because I do feel it's important, especially going forward because we are in some interesting times right now. So thank you again for being here and taking the time out of your busy Sunday to be with us. So thank you.
Excellent. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we do come back, or I come back, we're going to give you the conclusion of today's show. We'll be right back.
When you open yourself up to actual energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.
Hello, are you an entrepreneur, healer, author, publisher, life coach, or living in purpose? I am Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, the host of Joanne's Healing Within TV show. and I am currently accepting guest applications for those of you who are ready to shine your light, inspire others, and share your story, and step in front of a much larger audience such as Roku, Amazon Fire TV, YouTube, and of course Facebook. I am currently offering special rates for those of you who are interested in inspiring others and shining your light. Email your bio and story to healingwithin76@gmail.com. Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. For those of you who are just tuning in, remember to share, like, and comment. But do be mindful you're going to probably have to come back and watch this later or check us out on Roku or even YouTube or Amazon Fire TV. We had an amazing show today. I'd like to remind you that today is Sunday. I'm sure you know that because we're all watching me right now. So this evening, come join me on my Facebook page, Jab Barry, for the live cosmic energy readings that I do at 8 p.m. I usually try to get on as close to 8 p.m. as possible. Everybody gets a reading, or at least almost everybody gets a reading. I'm doing a play thing as I do my readings where I bring you guys on with me live. So when you do join me, remember to be on your phone so you can tune in and have your your earplugs in. This way here we can delete all the sounds around us. Also, for anybody who is looking to shine their light, share their story, and expand and expose their business, I am currently taking guest applications as we speak. Feel free to send your bio, your story, and what it is you want to share with our viewers to healingwithin76@gmail.com. And one last announcement, for anyone who's interested in getting their own personal reading, feel free to email again, healingwithin76@gmail.com. I do look forward to connecting with each and every one of you next Sunday. But remember, I will be back here on Wednesday for Joanne's Cosmic Energy radio show. And I look forward to sharing you information regarding the 88 Lionsgate and how that energy is going to help you move forward. So stay tuned, 5 p.m. for Joanne's Cosmic Energy radio show right here on Strong Island Radio. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.